King Jr. talked about as blessed community, that even if it's my big mug on the video, that this is really just as much, if not more, about you than it is about any other one of us. So that can be egotistical, that notion that the world revolves around each one of us, or that can be used for good and beauty. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about a lot of sort of trendy, silly issues that are very popular in reality and popular in society and popular on Elephant Journal. So yeah, if you haven't said where you're from, we got Madrid, we got Sheboygan, we got Vancouver, we have Venice, California. I'm jealous, I love Venice. Newfoundland, which is entirely COVID-free, according to my mom. Portland, Oregon, which is now Fed officer brutality-free, I hope. Kentucky. Is there an echo for everybody? You're using your headphones? Okay. Johannesburg, South Africa, Lake Tahoe, Czech Republic, wow, Colorado Springs, Miami, Michigan, Ontario, Ohio. So if you are hearing an echo, I recommend headphones. I don't really have any other tips, but hopefully Emily does. Okay, so Emily is our editor on duty today. She's one of the two co-heads of the Academy. And Molly, I don't think is here. She's been sick for, I think, 3 weeks now, possibly with COVID, possibly with something else. Dubai. So we could all give some love to Molly out there. New Zealand, lovely. I love it. I love seeing this. So Edmonds, Washington. So a couple, like as if we're at camp, which we will be right after this. So the gathering is the first half of the meeting. The camp is the second half of the meeting. The camp, we are going to do, as always, a specific training exercise around what we talk about today, because otherwise it's just conversation. It's just community. Conversation and community, hello India, are important and vital, but we also have to have a path. You understand that? So we have a community that can be inspiring, that can help. But then we also have to have a path, how to get from here to there. So we're going to talk about how to be truly happy. We're going to do a writing exercise around that in Elephant Camp. Elephant Camp is, unlike the gathering, not free. It's free to anyone doing any Academy course, or if you have ever done any Academy course, or if you join now, and I believe you can just click the green button, get 50% off any of the brand new courses. You can choose the cheapest course, and then you'll get Elephant Camp for free. You'll get an email with the code how to join as soon as you join. And if you want to join and are a Academy alumni, you can email academy@elephantjournal.com, academy@elephantjournal.com if you don't have the code to join. Oh, Molly is here. She's lurking. So, well, I'm glad, because then you get the love. Big love to Molly. She's going through it. How are you feeling, Molly? A little better? Is anyone else here sick or know anyone who's sick? Hey, Sierra. Yeah, so I am thinking this may be the last gathering, not because I'm tired. This has been incredibly fun and inspiring. And in fact, I'm kind of sad and resentful that this is the last one, but we've done them for months now. Thousands of people, as you can see below, have joined, and it's okay to let go of things. So I'm going to just demonstrate that. The reason we're going to let go is we're probably going to, well, we're certainly going to go back to offering the full Academy, which is, I believe, 6 weeks. We used to do 3 months. Emily can correct me. There's Kate. Hello, Kate in Michigan. 6 weeks, yeah. So not enough people have been joining the Academy. So we're so far behind on our budget because we've been offering this for free and people haven't been joining camp or Elephant Academy courses in enough number. That's not a guilt trip. That's your decision. But if you do check out that green button, there's amazing courses we put a ton of love into. And they're more than just a one free offering, a one-off. They're a path. That's what we need. We all know, for example, to be kind, but we need to know how to be kind. And the how is a path. So let's bring our attention together and actually start today. Let's all take a great posture. Take a good breath. And with respect and friendliness and a reminder of your mission in your life to be of benefit, give it away. Okay, so today it sounds like we have a whole smorgasbord of subjects, but really they're all one thing. So we advertised, we publicized, we conveyed, we communicated that we would talk about sort of empaths versus narcissists. Who here identifies either as an empath or as someone who is empathetic more often than not? Who here is an empath or empathetic more often than not? You don't have to clarify which. So Lindsay told me to be nice today. A lot of you know and have seen my writings on empath. And I will be nice. But maybe we could put some of those articles in and you can read them. So from a Buddhist point of view, the term empath is troubling. And if you identify as an empath, hopefully this will expand your notion of what it is to be an empath rather than threatening it. Does that make sense? So what does a narcissist say? Can we all focus in? What does a narcissist say? A narcissist says, I am important and must be protected, and things out there are the problem. Right? Is that kind of what a narcissist says? I'm the important one, and out there is the enemy. Let's all focus in. Let's bring our attention to the present moment. The chat bar is community, but let's get a response. So does a narcissist say, I'm the important one, you all are a threat, and I need to get rid of you, dominate you, run away from you, whatever it is, but you guys are the problem? So that's strangely similar, right? That definition of a narcissist, I'm the precious one and out there is the threat, to the definition of an empath. An empath is someone who says, I am deeply feeling, so deeply feeling that I can't allow myself to feel all the way. And therefore I need to get rid of whatever is painful and have some distance from it. I get threatened by what's out there. Yeah, Paul, I don't think you need the first word no, because that's kind of what I said. All of you are less important than me. That's what a narcissist would say. We don't have to agree. But we can contemplate before disagreeing. In America, particularly, we're all ginned up on coffee. Diane, we don't have to agree. Effer, we don't have to agree. We're all ginned up on coffee, and we love to disagree. Not how you feel. That's great. So let's talk about empathy. No one here has a problem with empathy, so we can all agree on empathy. Empathy is, I have had experiences that are difficult. I have seen suffering. I have felt suffering, whether my own or others, animals. It can be anything. It can be environmental devastation. It can be macro. It can be micro. And I have breathed through that. I have deeply felt it. I have allowed it to break my heart. You know, the Leonard Cohen quote, it is through the cracks that the light gets in. And I have allowed that brokenheartedness to flood the world with compassion. Because I have suffered and I have felt that, joy and pain, sunshine and rain, rainbow, I resolve to dedicate myself to helping others, not just philosophically, not just conceptually, but directly through my emotions. So can we all agree on that as a general definition for empathy? I have deeply felt it has broken my heart, and out of that, I naturally want to be of service. I naturally want to help others. I'm talking about empathy. So in Buddhism, we have a tradition of listening to teachings that are incredibly challenging. We actually are excited, we're turned on by something that we may find challenging, that we may find even threatening. It needs to be wholesome, it needs to be helpful, it could be something we disagree with. But let's expand our tolerance, not just tolerance, but our enthusiasm for learning. Learning, by definition, means that we don't agree with it because we don't know it. It's new. And that is a quality of empathy. It is curious. It is turning the flower outward. So it is not about me. Is empathy about me? Is empathy about you? Lisa, say more. I love that. Amanda, exactly. Empathy fundamentally is like that Eleanor Roosevelt quote. It doesn't really depend, but say more. Yeah, it is kind of both. It's connection, exactly. Yes and no. But fundamentally, is empathy about me? Is the mission, is the point, is the target of empathy, is it me? Yes, it heals me. In being empathetic, I am healed. In caring, I find the fullest joy. It is synchronization, it is connection. But empathy is, like Eleanor Roosevelt said, in service, she discovered happiness for the first time. It is that Buddhist quote, if you want to be happy, think first of others. Others includes, does others include just the people you like? Who is others? If you want to be truly happy, think first of others. Is others just people who agree with you politically? Or who agree with you on the definition of an empath? Others is all sentient beings. It's transcendent of boundaries. So others could be narcissists. Others could be Trump fans. But I repeat myself. That's just a joke. Sorry. Others could be Democrats. Others could be immigrants. Others could be rescue dogs. Others could be your in-laws. Others can be a tree that is going to get cut down. Does that make sense? Empathy is about all sentient beings. Well, exactly. I love what you just wrote, Sydney. So that's like what Yvon Chouinard said, Sydney, talking directly to Sydney. Yvon Chouinard, founder of Patagonia, said, being an environmentalist is fundamentally selfish because in caring for the world, in caring for all sentient beings, we save ourselves, we heal ourselves. I love that. Yeah, so T.L. Dennis is pointing to something really beautiful or really ugly, but really powerful, really poignant, which is self-deception is the biggest enemy. And that's what we're going to go over in Elephant Camp. Self-deception. Everyone, TL, I want to point this out to you because you're sort of saying, you're othering there. I agree 1,000% with what you said. You say a narcissist can believe they are empathetic, knowing what others feel and experience when they absolutely don't. But you're othering narcissists. All of us have narcissism. All of us have ego. All of us have hearts and empathy. All of us are human here, I believe. And we can't other narcissists. All of us believe that we are empathetic and that we care, that we're the good people. And that's powerful, but that's also a little bit self-deception. We can self-deceiving. We can all be self-deceiving. All of us get caught up in what about me? What about me? So let's talk about narcissism. Let's talk about narcissism, baby. Let's talk about me and me. Let's talk about everything and how it's about me. So narcissism is thinking I'm the important one and everyone else out there doesn't respect me enough and they should serve me and I'm everything. I'm the cake and the icing. Narcissism can take the form of self-pity. Narcissism is not always macho, outgoing, right? Narcissism isn't always even powerful. Yes, exactly what Kat said. Narcissism can be woe is me. So there's a difference between being narcissistic or being empathetic and being an empath or a narcissist. And I'm not saying those two are the same thing. That is not my point. But there's a difference between being narcissistic. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I don't say this in a mean way. Everyone here, including myself, is narcissistic sometimes. Is anyone here narcissistic sometimes? Other than my dog, Redford? Although he's relatively self-obsessed. Food, pooping, peeing. Huge in his world. It's all about it. Is anyone here ever narcissistic? Is anyone here ever empathetic? Of course, exactly, Renee, by my definition. Okay, so I'm not trying to have the Waylon Lewis theory of narcissism, empathy, or anything. This is just coming straight out of Dharma. And if there's any confusion or any disagreement, that's my fault. But basically, from a Buddhist point of view, we have Buddha nature, and the prick, the prick of the thorn, the little pain, the brokenheartedness in Buddhism is not seen as a bad thing. Broken heart. We have an article about how being brokenhearted is actually beautiful. Being lonely is beautiful. Why is it beautiful? Because it means our ego, our narcissism is beginning to give up. We can be fueled by trying to get what we want all the time. Does anyone ever feel that? We always are fueled by trying to get what we want, right? Sierra, you're a beautiful person. Aaron, Kate, Gopali, we're fueled by what we want. Anyone feeling that? That can be a form of narcissism, more powerful than coffee. But then there's times, Monica, when we are disappointed, when we are defeated, when we lose heart, when we give up, when we are lonely, when we are brokenhearted. From a Buddhist point of view, please listen, from a Buddhist point of view, those moments of defeat, of disappointment, of heartbreak, of loneliness, those moments are what? Anyone? What are those moments? Overwhelmed. What are those moments? Loneliness, defeat, brokenheartedness, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like giving up. What are those moments? No. Humbling, opportunity for growth, compassion, crucial. They are good news. Please write that down if you're feeling that. Yes. So the ego or narcissistic, those are the moments when our ego or narcissism gives up for a moment. There's a gap. There's a gap in the matrix, right? There's a glitch in the matrix. Don't fight back. But Levy, you're right. Those are the moments when we learn, when we give up, we relax, we open up. Who here does like body work? You'll find a lot of people so tight, so struggling. And or if you're a yoga teacher, anyone here a body worker or a yoga teacher or therapist? Anyone? Sort of working with healing? Yeah, a school teacher could be it, but that can be general. Jen, Lori, Michelle, Shelley, Jennifer, Jan, Lauren, beautiful, Jen, Ember, Deborah. So how many of you find people are struggling? Their whole bodies are like traffic jams, right? Their whole body is frozen up, or their emotions are frozen up if you're a therapist. But in your therapist chair or your couch or on the yoga mat or on the massage table, they give up, they relax, and partially through trust with you, with your hands, with your caring, with your instruction, partially through trust with you, they relax and they allow, if you're massaging someone's shoulder, you can feel the shoulder tighten, 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 and then kind of it begins to trust your hand and it relaxes, right? And you suddenly feel it open up and the knot's still there. The knot is still there, but you can get in there and you can begin to kind of wash it away with care. So from a Buddhist point of view, that prick of brokenheartedness, that prick of, this isn't working, can crack it open. The light comes through and we give up. And when we lose heart, the very moment where we think we're going to give up or we're going to be depressed or we're going to whatever, regard that as good news next time that happens. Regard that as good news. Say, wow, my ego has been so frustrated it's given up. This is an opportunity. This is a gap in the matrix. This is a gap in the speed. I always think of the habit trail. Anyone here have a hamster? The hamster wheel is a gap in the speed of our trying to get what we want. What is the mantra? Did anyone see my video yesterday about narcissism? What is the mantra of narcissism? Anyone? What's the mantra that we all say again and again and again, all day, every day? Next time you're losing heart, that could be a good one for you guys. COVID is a societal gap. And look what we filled it with. We filled it with partisan, anger. But we also filled it with some awakening to injustice. Nobody saw the videos yesterday. So the mantra of narcissism, the mantra of ego is, what about me? You know how you can do a mantra on a rosary or a mala, right? You count them. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? A rosary or a mala, you'll count every bead. What about me? So we recite every single day. What about me? 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 What about everyone say that together. Don't worry, we'll unwind that. What about me? 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 What's the feeling you get when you say, what about me, again and again? Did anyone do that? What's the feeling you get? Exactly, Aaron. What's the feeling you get? Bad juju. But what's the feeling you get? What does it feel like? Exhausting, sad, overwhelming, black and icky, kind of stagnant? Exactly. Sinking, selfish, survival, injustice, pent up, frustration, self pity, anxious, black hole, hyper panic, guilty, shame, sadness, self pity, heavy. It's kind of heavy. Um, the feeling, playing the victim, I might have missed a few. Small, desperate, yuck. Yeah, kind of yuck. Yeah, I love yuck. Jen, you're a writer. Beth, yes, yuck. It's just like a primordial word. So for me, it feels claustrophobic. I want to stop saying it. When we actually look at the mirror, let's bring it in. When we actually look at the mirror of our ego, ironically, if a narcissist, if we in our narcissistic moment ever look at a mirror truly for more than just how our hair is looking or our outfit or whatever, if we ever just actually look at ourselves in the eyes, you know, that exercise, where you stare at your partner or your friend's eyes for 2 minutes, what happens? If a narcissist actually looks in the mirror and feels, what about me? What about me? What about me? If you actually look in the eyes of your partner, who is your lifelong partner, who is your ego, what happens after a bit? Michelle, exactly. You cry, you relax. Because tension, like in Reiki, someone here does Reiki, tension, given attention, can only maintain itself for so long. Yeah, being angry is the first step toward feeling brokenhearted. It starts breaking open. So tension, given attention, will hold, and then begin to relax. And it might relax into anger, it might relax into tears, but at some point it will relax. And then what happens? We don't get rid of our ego, but we're aware of our ego. And through Maitri, we can actually be loving toward our ego. Your ego, my ego, is like the orphan, right? Who you have never been kind to. The ego will give kindness to itself for its whole life. The ego will say, me, what about me? But we are never kind to our ego. We treat it like something we don't want. We don't give it food. We don't give it a place at the table. We shun it. We have shame. We have yuckiness, all those words up above. And with Maitri, we can finally be kind to ourselves. We can feel the shame. We can feel the yuck. We can feel the anger. We can feel the broken heart. We can finally be kind to ourselves. So Maitri is a practice. Maitri is a path. And yeah, we do have a course in that green button for Maitri. It includes Sharon Salzberg. It includes people who are way more wise and wonderful than myself. Society isn't kind, of course, but society is also kind. We can't make huge comments about all of society without, looking at the micro and the details of it. Yes, exactly. Cat, self-compassion. So then we can actually become empathetic toward ourselves. We can be empathetic toward ourselves. And as we've all discussed, as I did a video yesterday, there are 2 stages to empathy. The first stage of empathy is awareness and feeling where you are at. If all of you touch your heart right now, you all want to do this together? Just touch your heart. You can close your eyes and just be kind to yourself. Just give yourself attention. Give yourself awareness. Feel, how are you doing right now? How am I doing right now? Just do that for slightly too long. Do that for 5 seconds. If you're uncomfortable, do it for 10 seconds. If it's easy for you, keep doing it. Everyone do it. Lindsay, Emily, everyone do this. How often do we do that for ourselves? And if we're talking about empathy, it's our duty to do that for ourselves so that we can do that for others. Tiffany. It's our duty to do that for ourselves so that we can do that for others. When we do that for ourselves and others, then we're way less quick to draw boundaries between ourselves and others. Immigrants, bad. People I disagree with, bad. Trump fans, bad. We're way less quick. Mother-in-law, bad. Whatever it is. Person who yelled at me on the bike path, bad. We're way less quick to draw lines and battle. What does the ego and the narcissism love to do? It loves to go to battle, right? Our president, and I don't bring this up to be partisan, I bring this up because it's reality. Our president loves nothing more than battle, right? But to create true victory is to have no enemy, right? That's Sun Tzu, that's the art of war. True victory is when you have no enemy. President Lincoln, who many of us could acknowledge as a greater president perhaps, President Lincoln said, "I defeat my enemy when I make him or her, them, my friend." I love that, right? So we have 4 minutes left. I'm going to jump into ask a question for all of you. Thank you so much. I hope, was that interesting? Even if you disagreed with it, has that been fulfilling or interesting in any way? I'm going to move into questions. Amen. Roshi Halifax has been on our show many times, Megan. Maybe we can put that link in there. So I'm not here to, I think, if I came here and I said, empaths beautiful, empaths good, narcissist bad, narcissist toxic, empathy is good, sure. If I said that, all of you would agree, right? That's where we started from. But we're not here to agree. We're here to learn from one another. I'm here to learn from you. We have to learn new ways to create peace. We have to learn new ways to create peace. The old ways are creating conflict. And conflict can be helpful, with that broken-hearted anger opening up. But ultimately, we have to look in the mirror fully, not just with ourselves, but with our greatest enemy, which could be ourselves. And we have to get to know each other and be kind. Okay, so if you want to keep these gatherings going, you can click the green button and join. And if we get a whole bunch of people joining, we'll continue. If not, we're going to move back to these long courses that do cost real money, but they're a real meaningful path. I've loved the public gatherings that are free and the camp that'll come right after this. Let me jump into ask a question. Are narcissists born or made? This is from Rumi. Some say genetics play a major role and some say bad parenting makes a child narcissistic. Is a child born narcissistic? From a Buddhist point of view, and that's the only point of view I can particularly answer from because it kind of adds up with my experience, my meditation practice, my study of politics, my reading the paper every day, my being a human being. So you're asking my view. My view is that humans are fundamentally good. If we see something with open eyes and an open heart, and a puppy gets kicked, what do you feel like when a pup? I have a Best Buddhist Books for Beginners blog. but we'll put that link in there. But from a basic Buddhist point of view, we instinctually react with compassion when we see suffering. But then what happens? What are those great quotes about education? We have to unlearn our education. Lisa, let's slow down. Remember, you're still othering narcissists. We're all narcissistic. There are full-blown narcissists. That is a thing. And they break the rules a little bit, and I'll get to that. But when we see suffering, a rescue puppy get kicked, I know that's an awful analogy, but it brings up compassion. It brings up anger. You want to fight that injustice. You want to help the puppy. Does everyone here want to help the puppy? Just remember, Monica, dogs will fight, and it's our job to break it up as quickly as possible. But sometimes we make it a bigger emotional deal than it is to the dogs, and that actually can lead to trauma for the dogs. If we help them reconnect and smell each other and then walk off, I don't know the situation, but it may not be a big deal, even though we freak out. So help the puppy. So we instinctually help the puppy. But yes, through bad parenting, through how society goes. I mean, if you look at Trump's childhood, you're going to feel compassion for the man. He didn't have a chance. You're not going to feel sorry for him because he has, from the time of a child, he has dealt out cowardly bullying. And if you don't think he's a coward, remember he dodged the draft 6 times. You know, he'll never put himself in the line of fire. He said dating in the 80s was his own personal Vietnam. But we can take this away from political stuff to just bullies. Bullies do happen, and bullies become narcissists on some level. Narcissism is not just being narcissistic. We are all narcissistic, but being a narcissist is when you double down on your crazy. You double down on your bullying. You double down on your trying to fulfill your weird mental gymnastics to make yourself the hero or the victim of every single situation. Does that make sense? So in Buddhism, we have a term called Rudra, which is similar to, exactly, Julie, which is similar to narcissists. Full-blown ego is trying to justify its own thoughts about the world. Full-blown ego no longer has any gap in it, but it's our job to maintain the gap. Don't always get on your phone. You know, when you're defeated, that is a big gap. When you're depressed, that is a big gap. When you're brokenhearted, that's a big gap. When you're lonely, that's a big gap. Embrace the gap, because the gap allows you to relax into this life, into this world. And a narcissist has completely closed off all gaps. Yeah, and it's all fear. Cosmo, exactly. Exactly. I know that I find I will take on emotionally helping others until I light a match and burn the bridge. Will we cover how to help set boundaries in non-traditional ways? There's a lot of extreme advice on how to protect one's energy. So Jess, yes, there's a blog on Elephant called Idiot Compassion. I highly recommend you read it. We do have to have boundaries. If you're empathetic, if you're an self-described empath, we have to set up boundaries. But those boundaries aren't about helping others. Those boundaries aren't about being kind. Those boundaries aren't about being open. Those boundaries are about being used. Those boundaries are about being misused, about being used, about using yourself out of shame or guilt. Does that make sense? So the boundaries we need to have as good, decent people, empathetic or empaths. Megan, thank you. If we get a bunch of people joining these courses, even the really cheap ones, we'll continue these forever. We just have to make our budget because we're a small independent media and we're mission driven. And we are not just me. If you don't like me, there's amazing writers and amazing community people all over Elephant. So as an empath, your duty is to create boundaries, not from helping the homeless or helping the sick or helping the elderly or helping or being at a party, you know, the kind of introvert empath thing that we kind of fuse together too often. It's about setting up boundaries so you don't use yourself or misuse yourself. So please read Idiot Compassion. Yes, no martyrs allowed. Exactly, Lisa. So Driti, married to a narcissistic man since 20 years, since you were 20 years old. How do I protect my kid's energy from his manipulative behavior? I think, Driti, without hearing from your husband, I can't completely talk about it, but what I could say just based on what you said is, my mom got out of that marriage. She was in a very bad situation, very narcissistic and very aggressive situation. And she got me out of there. She got me out of there before I could experience it. And therefore she protected me. So if you can, given just what you said, if you can get out, great. But you're not asking about that. So I'm thinking maybe you can't get out. If you can't get out for whatever reason, having a frank talk with your children saying, when your dad does this, that is not okay. Not all people are like that. Not all dads are like that. You are a good kid. You are a good human being. You need to, continue to be good and be brave and protect yourself from whatever is going on. It's really hard to talk about based on one sentence and not knowing more about the situation. Gopali, yeah. I think the sound is good for most of us. But yeah, it can be very hard to get out of that situation. It was very hard for my mom to get out. She had to basically trick her way out. Often, abusive folks are very manipulative. They're very good at knowing if someone's trying to get out. And there could be the threat of aggression. But she did. She got me out, and I got to grow up with her and not a narcissistic bully. And, my dad continued to grow up. That's why I'm a big believer in, we don't vilify people. Even a narcissist, somewhere in there is a little heart. And like in Dr. Seuss, maybe that heart needs to grow 3 sizes, right? So we're over time. We're going to go to elephant camp. We're going to do a writing exercise. Molly, Emily, if someone can copy paste all these questions, I can address these in the next one. If we get enough registrations, we'll continue. If you guys want to go to elephantjournal.com/subscribe, if anyone here subscribes, that'll help us continue. If you join Elephant Academy, that'll help us continue. I'm not trying to do a telethon, but I believe in paying my staff properly. And I also believe in offering things for free to the whole world. So that's kind of a conflict. So for us to be able to continue this, you guys, by your choice, when you make the choice to subscribe, when you make the choice to click that green button and do something, then we will make the choice to continue. Is anyone here going to subscribe? elephantjournal.com/subscribe. Anyone? Can someone put that link in there? Oh, there it is. If you subscribe, if you do the green course, we'll keep continuing. If not, at this point, I think we've run out of rope. There are 50% off on all the courses that have yet to be released. So if you get in before they're released, you're getting a crazy deal. All right. Thank you. Thank you for those who signed up. Thank you for those who subscribed. And I hope this was challenging and fun. We will see you in camp in just a couple minutes, and we will do a writing exercise around narcissism, around being an empath, around empathy, around how to be truly happy, around the 2 stages of empathy. And we're going to bring it all together and do a writing exercise around it. We'll also do a meditation, because you kind of gotta expand the gap. So we'll expand the gap together, and then we'll do a writing exercise. Thank you so much. I hope that was fun and challenging and interesting. Renee, thank you so much for subscribing. If you don't know how to join Elephant Camp, you just need the code which will be in your email. If you don't have the code in your email, you either haven't joined any Academy course, or you can email academy@elephantjournal.com if you have and you don't have it. Thank you so much. Let's all end with a bow. Take a great posture. Oh, Kat, the reading list, the Buddhist reading list. Yeah, there you go. Great job. Great job, Academy people. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Emrod. Thank you, Sydney. Sydney, if you're still here, please write an article about being a teacher. I think you were the teacher. Anyway, I love your comment way back. Great way to begin the day. Blessings and best wishes. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, bow if you're still here. And if this is the last one, it's been a great 3 months or something. So thank you. I'm going to miss it.